So they had to publicly ask for the money they were asking for. Okay, so they had bicycles helping you keep your job at Ford. So Ford had a job. They're using, they would be rock stars, okay? They were sick because you were eating toxic waste. Chemicals is a job. If you stick to water-soluble chemicals, you could usually dissolve it with a water slur. It's a job. If you can keep, they said they had Ford helped them develop a soybean plastic with some kind of paraffin chlorine combination to help have a less chance of being set on fire. Non-flammable. Should be safe for food. Should be safe for people. So the plastic, you should still be having a soybean with your KFC, right? Deep fat fried chicken, right? Your chicken tenders and pickles. They had to publicly ask for funding, right? So Toronto's restaurants, you have to publicly ask for funding like Red Rose Diner. They're serving food that doesn't kill you. They want us to ask for their public funding that they're up here. There's no real jobs working on their recipes, right? They have recipes, they try. There's no real jobs, but they're pretty good cooks. Their food doesn't kill you, but they like their funding, right? They might be like this chain of Starbucks, right? But then they don't get their funding. See, Starbucks, they're serving food to people who are trying to ask for money. We don't have money for everything. Ford has a car that helps develop soybean plastic that should be safe for your food. It goes to help you serve food. You have a diesel from soybean. You don't have money for everything. We have this car that gets you up here to have meals, to ask for funding for food. The food's okay. They have no way to sit there and get funding, so they had a public asking for money like Starbucks. We had Red Rose Diner. So there's $10 million to keep marketing food at Red Rose Diner, but they're asking for their funding like they have kids who would be like Andy Warhol and work on stuff. They have an art party to ask for their funding. We had a historic house that they said could be torn down because it's old. The mill house could have been Mike Smith's house where they didn't actually blow him up. It could have been Mike Smith's old house where he died in a Challenger accident. We got his old mill house. So in this mill house where Mike Smith might have died, and I don't know, they're talking about rock stars and singers. The Challenger explosion where he died, we don't have money for everything. We said Johnny D was the sleaziest alien, he was important. And he really blew up like Ohio. 9/11 happened because they're evil. So we don't really have money for everything, okay? We don't have money for all kinds of crazy stuff. They had to ask for publicly funding. So we said, Christopher Johnson said he displeased his family and he's really important. They're trying to start a civil war. We don't have money for everything. So they had to publicly ask for help to serve sandwiches, ask for keeping people around. Okay, they developed a huge Ohio they had a Challenger explosion after we got Mike Smith's family's house. So they turned down Mike Smith's historic house to put a new log cabin. To get funding to put a new log cabin that lasts 200 years, right? So they asked for funding for this stuff, like to ask for money to replace a log cabin to host parties at the mill house. Mike Smith's explosion mill house. How's family build a mill house? Then the Revolutionary War happened because they couldn't get their funding. Then to replace with a log cabin to ask for money for funding to have a tavern with Coors beer cans. Coors Bush's beer cans, aluminum to make arrowheads for crossbows and bow hunting. Aluminum crossbows for bow hunters. Preserving elk. They had to publicly ask for funding for crossbows and elk from aluminum cans. So keeping around elk, replacing Mike Smith's Challenger explosion house, because it could have been his house, so they don't care. So replacing with a log cabin that could last 200 years after the Revolutionary War, and you get what you want. I know, they had to publicly ask for funding for this stuff, okay? They don't get what they want. They don't have money for everything. The house with the car that they can't really get funding to develop. Mike says to the house has funding. Log cabin, they can probably replace it last 2 years. They can't get funding up here.